rode for over 20 years and boasts a hat-trick of wins in the early 90s.
I think it takes a lot of patience, it takes experience. You've got to be determined, you must never give up. More so than anything else, the preparation of the vehicle beforehand. Those are important mechanical elements. The other element that's very important is teamwork. I've been very fortunate in that I've always had very, very good guys with me. First time I went with my partner Fred Levesque, then with Robbie Walk, and then with the Masutu Ashley Thorne, who when we finished doing single-seaters this year, we're going to go back racing together next year. Teamwork is an important aspect.
Day 3 saw a big improvement in the weather, and it was the bikes which had the dubious honour of setting off first.
While I'm lying second in the points for the championships, all I got to do is just hang in there and just finish, because I got a half an hour lead on the second act. So I can just finish. I don't mind losing a couple of overall positions if I can just stay where I am in the 200. I'll be happy, so I can take the championships in the bag.
Van Niekerk had no chance of keeping the powerful pack of KTMs and Hondas off for long in these near-perfect race conditions. Out front, Curtis was holding on to a comfortable lead as he eased his AGA Panasonic KTM across the terrain, followed by the very impressive Van Niekerk, whose 125 was showing a clean pair of heels to much larger machinery. Sunny mornings also pose problems, as Karl-Heinz Holz and Lance Trethewey found out, riding directly into a rising sun. Save for a slight misfire, everything was going right for Reinecker and Houghton, and their task had been made a lot easier when the Nissan failed to complete the previous day's racing. Rocky mountain passes characterize the Roof of Africa rally. Not only are they extremely uncomfortable, but they also need to be treated with caution, which the Birkin brothers display. The third-place Land Rover Turbo Diesel of Mike Redden and Wyatt Joseph found that a footful of throttle was the only way to overcome a large rock that had been dislodged by the Birkins car. That rock, which had originally been dislodged by the Birkins, then moved again by the Land Rover, caused untold problems for the first of the two surviving raceco's. Navigator Karl-Heinz Silwald needed some assistance to get them on their way again. Niels Lemmer and Karel Leroux held 5th place in their Class E Toyota Hilux, but were a long way behind and were being caught by John Lambert and Eric Scholz in the other raceco. Shortly after the start, the quad field had been reduced to 2 when Paul Breckel retired his Philips Rotax, and all Yuri Duplessis needed to do to win was maintain a steady pace. Heading the veteran motorcyclist class was Yuri Human, which was remarkable considering that he only decided to race a couple of weeks beforehand. A new pass, Boilers Pass, proved to be an obstacle that no biker expected, nor needed after such a tough first day. What made it worse was the fact that the notorious baboons and slide your ass passes followed shortly afterwards. Without fail, every rider came to grief on this one and needed a rest stop before reaching the top. Van Niekerk took a tumble while Van Zietswitz climbed it in a cloud of steam as his KTM overheated badly. Jack Peckham was finding it difficult to hold down a top 10 position with 250 championship leader Alex Vals and Karl-Heinz Holtz breathing down his neck. The large contingent of German riders quickly discovered that the Maluti Mountains are unlike anything they have to tackle during the European Enduro season. As the motorcyclists battled the passes, those with the benefit of four wheels faced much friendlier terrain, and the Land Cruiser was firing raucously on all 6 cylinders. By contrast, the Birkin Turbo Diesel sounded flat and unresponsive, but still maintained a fast pace as the Barberton motor dealers fought off the ever-present threat from Redden and Joseph's similarly aspirated Land Rover, which had been passed by the Silwarts Raceco. Lambert and Scholz had joined the long list of retirements, which had grown earlier in the day when Barker suffered head gasket problems. And next to go were the Silwarts when their much-abused clutch finally cried enough. Now there were just 5 cars left in the contest. Redden and Joseph were not about to give up their hopes of finishing second and were literally flying over the bumpy roads. Making it 3 Toyotas in the top 4 were Lemmer and Leroux. Sensing the veterans class victory, Yuri Human punches the air with delight as he heads for the home stretch as quad leader Yuri Duplessis on his Bankfin Yamaha Banshee follows in his usual unruffled style. One more rocky pass separated Curtis from his first Roof of Africa win, and he attacked it with passion. Fellow KTM rider Alex Vals wrapped up the National 250 class championship, despite this late scare when his bike boiled dry halfway up the climb.
Anybody got some water?
4-time gold medalist at the ISDE, Germany's Karl-Heinz Holtz has a tough time threading his way through the rocks. Once the rocky passes had been negotiated, the leading German riders tackled the short haul to the finish at Maseru. Although Rian Finicak had slipped back to 4th on the road, he still held 3rd place, which would ensure him the 200cc title. Another impressive German rider was Michael Mailhammer, who was not far behind Kawasaki's Jack Peckham. After almost 10 hours in the saddle, Curtis was greeted by jubilant applause as he arrived at the Pope Stadium to claim the most important win of his career to date. It had been a perfect ride from Curtis as he took the win by 22 minutes from Van Zietswitz and Finicak on the giant-killing Honda 125.
I feel great. I can't believe I've done it. Done the roof, it's my 6th time. And I mean, with Alfie winning it every year, I thought it was an impossibility, but I've finally done it. I can't believe it.
This was probably the most important win in the careers of Reinecker and Houghton. They had to win and did exactly what was required. Shortly after the finish, Redden and Joseph were excluded for a minor infringement earlier in the day, which left Toyotas as the only finishers in the car category.
Dit klink eintlik onmoontlik dat jy moet 'n rally wen en jou oppositie moet uitval om 'n kampioenskap te wen, en dit het wel gebeur. So lyk vir my ons geluk het gedraai na al die ongeluk wat ons gehad het hierdie jaar. En die geluk op die einde na ons kant toe gekom.
For Yuri Human, it was more than just a win. It was a personal triumph over grief. 3 weeks prior to the race, his son, Yuri Jr., was killed while out training for the event, and he rode it in memory of him. Yuri Duplessis' winning margin in the quad class was over 2 hours after Van Deventer broke a back axle with 60 kilometers left. He drove in on 3 wheels, winning the Spirit of the Roof award.
Ja, dit was baie lekker geweest. Ongelukkig het die weekends bietjie teenspoed gehad wat tot my voordeel was, maar dit was 'n baie lekker reisie. Moeilik. Gister met daai riviere het ek nie gedink ons gaan die einde sien nie.